Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Set a Watch, which is a 1 to 4 player game published by Rock Manor Games. In this game, you're going to be taking 4 adventurers, and you're going to be trying to travel through 9 locations to make it to your final destination and survive all the way through and defeat the final destination. In this game, you're going to have to determine who's going to be tending the campfire and which other 3 players are going, or 3 characters, I should be specific there, are going to be setting a watch and defending against the horde of monsters that are going to be attacking them at each location. Let's go ahead down the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play Set a Watch, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is Set a Watch. The kingdom is in grave danger. Powerful enemies are conspiring to resurrect the vile and powerful unhallowed that your party has just slain. Now the mighty adventurers of the land must visit these summoning locations and defeat the hordes of creatures behind the evil plot. It falls to 4 humble adventurers, each of whom has a unique set of skills, to band together once more and vanquish the evil before the unhallowed consume the world into darkness. So Set a Watch is going to be a game here. We're going to be playing between 1 and 4 players, but at any player count, you're always going to have 4 characters out. Now that means that if you're playing with 2 players, each player plays 2 characters. If you're playing with 3 players, each player plays a character and 1 plays 2. If 4 players, each player plays a character, and at 1 player, you play all 4 adventurers. You'll always have 4 adventurers in this game. You're going to be traveling through different locations, and you're going to be trying to make it to the final location here. I'm going to go into how to set up the game, and then we're going to go into gameplay itself. So the first thing you're going to do in the game is you're going to pick an adventurer. Now in this game here, this base game here, you're going to have 6 different adventurers to pick from. And you're going to want to have 4 of these to be able to play the game. You're going to have different types of dice that you're going to be able to have in this game here, and you'll notice that they're over here. So you're going to be able to have these 8-sided die or 6-sided die depending on your character. So if we look, the cleric here is going to have 3, and they're all going to have 3 dice here, 3 6-sided dice. And they're all going to have a special ability down here. So this one is going to be ones that you notice you have a little tent symbol, which I'll show you what that means in a little bit. But if you're basically going to be the one going to camp, you're going to be able to potentially use this ability if you want here. This cleric will let you heal, choose an adventure, refresh one of their ability cards. And it has a requirement of 4+ for this cleric here. Now note that the cards that are here, they're going to be ability cards that we're going to get. You get a special little deck for each of these characters here, and your health is going to be marked by however many of these are face up. If they go face down here, you're going to be having less health. If all of your adventurers don't have any abilities available, meaning they're all on the expended side here, you'll lose the game. And that's one thing you'll have to manage. The other one here, we have the wizard. You can, in the camp, you can teleport, draw the top 4, which is, I always think that the wizard is one of the best cards or characters to have in the game. And I generally always include the wizard in there because of this teleport ability. You could draw 4 cards of the unseen location deck, which is going to be a deck that we're going to set up here in a minute. That's going to go in here, and you're going to have the location deck that you have in there. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to be able to potentially take away a bad location, and you can insert it with a good location that you want to really go to. So you're going to draw 4 cards from the unused location deck, look at them, and then choose one of them to swap with the top card of the map deck. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of the unseen location deck in any order. So this one here is going to basically allow you go through the unseen locations, get a location that's better for you, and put that out. So we're going to say we're going to play with a wizard. So we'll put the wizard out here, and we'll have to get 3, doesn't matter what color, just remember you're that color, dice. We'll put them up here for right now. And you're going to get your wizard deck here. which will be, where's the wizard? Right here. So we will go ahead and shuffle these up, and you randomly place out 3 here, and the other 2 go off to the side that you can potentially get later on throughout the game. And there's lots of really cool abilities that you're going to get. So like right here, we could show you Chaos Blast. Choose 2 adjacent creatures in the line, defeat them, and then add a new creature to the end of the line, which is really cool. And this line is going to be the line of monsters that you're going to have to face during that round, which we'll show you in a little bit. So we also have the Rogue here. So the Rogue here has Prepared as this ability. Perform an equip action, and you may then choose an adventurer on watch to perform an equip action. So that one's pretty cool. Here you have the Warrior, have Wood Axe, advance the Firewood token by +4. I think that one's really great. Firewood's going to be what you're going to use to see these different monsters, which I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to go with the Warrior also. So we have the Warrior here. You're going to shuffle up their little deck here, and we're going to randomly place out 3 and place the other ones off to the side there they could get later on. Now this one's going to have 8-sided die. So we're going to get 3 8-sided dice, all of the same color, and place them up here for now. We also have the Beastmaster. And this one here is going to, so tamed creature limit 2, but you can see that from here. But set a trap. As soon as a creature in the first position of the line is revealed during the watch phase, you may assign this result to the creature as a direct damage. If this defeats the creature, its ability is not triggered, which is really good. Now, when you use this action, you're going to have to spend a die. And there's a difference between being in camp and actually doing the combat, but we're going to go ahead and say we're going to play with this character too. So for the Beastmaster, we would set the Beastmaster right here. Again, we will shuffle up the ability cards here and give 3 random ability cards to the Beastmaster. We have one final one. We're just going to go with whatever we have here, and it's going to be the Ranger. Now the Ranger here is going to have the ability of Elven Scout. You're going to draw the top 4 cards of the creature deck, look at them, and return them on top of the creature deck in any order. So that's also super helpful. So we're going to go ahead and we return the unused ability cards and the unused heroes. And this one we'll just shuffle up these cards here. 1, 2, 3. Abilities for this one, and put the other 2 off to the side. And we need to fill these up. So we're going to have 3 8-sided die. We'll do this one's purple, 3 8-sided die for this one, and it'll be green. And the remaining dice, which we have here, are going to go back, well, not in the box, because at the beginning of this game here, we set out the box here. This box here is what we're going to do for placing out the different cards. The Horde and the unused locations will be inside the box. And we have this little fire token here, which we're going to go over in a second. All right, now we're ready to prepare the Unhallowed deck. Now, if we look at this right here, we're going to see we have these summon cards. So just go ahead and take out the summon cards to begin with. The other thing we're looking for, see how they have no symbol on the banner right here, but these ones do. We're looking at these Unhallowed cards, and we will take those out for now. So now we're left with this deck of, and just go through to make sure it's all good, of normal cards. And we're going to shuffle that up. So I'm going to shuffle this up. We're going to shuffle up the Unhallowed cards too. So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll shuffle these up. And we'll shuffle up the Unhallowed cards here. You can also tell they're Unhallowed because they have a banner on the bottom of the card there that says Unhallowed. So if you look at here, you can see it has a banner down here of Unhallowed. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up these Unhallowed cards here. And we'll put them face down for right now. Now we're ready to set up the deck here. All right, so we completed creating of the Horde deck. So the Horde deck will go here. Now that we shuffled up this Unhallowed deck, what do we do? Well, with this Unhallowed deck, we're going to deal out 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try not to look at them. Place them face up here. Rest of these 2 here are going to go back not in the box, but be removed from the game. And now we have set up the Horde deck and the Unhallowed deck. Or did we? Because now we're going to have to look at these summon cards. And that's going to affect this Horde deck here. So in this summon deck here, or the summon cards here, you're going to pick however many of these you want to make the game more or less difficult. So if you pick up 1 here, it's going to be easy. If you're going to pick up 2 here, it's going to be normal. If you're going to pick up 3 here, it's going to be hard. And if you love losing games, you're going to pick 4. We're going to go ahead and with 2 here. So, all right, so now we're going to finish the setup here of this deck here. So now we're going to pull out 2 Acolytes, and we're going to shuffle this up. We already shuffled this up. We're going to take out 28 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that should be 28 cards here. Remove the rest from the game. We're going to put these 2 Acolytes on top, and we're going to go ahead and shuffle up this deck. So we're always going to have at least 2 Acolytes in this game here. And then we're going to separate these decks into 2 even piles here. And once we set these into 2 even piles here, we'll put these summon cards on top, give it a good shuffle. All right, and then we'll go ahead and put this deck on the bottom, and we'll shuffle up this one, and we'll put this deck on the top. Now, if you end up having like all 4 summons because you're crazy or whatever, the smallest deck will be the one that goes on the bottom because it'll be a little uneven. And that'll be the modification for setup with that. So now we have our Horde deck completely set up, and we have the Unhallowed deck there. Now we're going to work on the Location deck. So for the Location deck, we're looking for a couple different things. Notice how most of these have a bar on here and they don't have anything in here, but some of these have these little symbols here. So these are the respite locations. We're going to remove them all out, and we're going to remove the final location out of the deck there. So we have our respite locations removed, and we have these locations ready to go here. All right, so we're going to take this deck here, and we're going to shuffle it up. Now we're going to have to go through 9 locations. So in order to do that, we're going to take 8 cards, not looking at them. So we have these 8 cards. Then we're going to take the final location here and put it on the bottom. And we're going to place it over here. And this is going to make up our map deck that we're going to be journeying throughout the game with. Then we're going to take these cards and the respite locations, and we're going to shuffle them together here. And this will become our unused location deck. All right, another thing we're going to do is we're going to place out this fire token. This is going to be very important throughout the game. And we're going to place this one here on the location 7 on here. Now you can also make the game more difficult if you want, or vary the game. One of the ways you vary the game is you're going to roll a d6, and that's your random starting fire location on here. So obviously it's going to be less than 7 because it's a d6, but in general you're going to set this to 7. So now we're going to finally just flip over the first location. So we're going to flip over the first location. We do not resolve the location's firewood modifier for the first round. So the firewood modifier is going to be over here. So normally when we flip over a location, this is going to either be plus or minus, and this is going to reduce or increase, respectively, the fire number that we have on here. And this number here is going to be how many monsters we're going to bring out, and this one here is going to be the effect. So this one's the Mountain Keep. At the start of the watch, search the graveyard for the highest. Oh, this is the great one to have in the first one because we have no graveyard. For the highest creature, highest probably. So if you look at these creature cards, they have health on here. So highest health here, creature, and place it face down at the end of the line. So this is a great one because that won't happen. And we're only going to have 5 creatures that come out. So that is how we do setup, and we're ready to play the game. All right, so this game's going to be taking place over a series of 9 rounds until we get to the final location. We're going to try to survive until then. So the game comes with this handy dandy reference card, and this is going to be a reference card that's on the bottom of any of these unused heroes that you're going to have in the game. So the first thing you're going to do you're going to see on here is you're going to roll your dice. So everyone's going to roll their dice, and they're going to see what numbers they got. And we roll our numbers, and now we have them. Now we're going to pick someone to set a watch. Now in the game, you're going to have 9 rounds, and no one can be on a watch more than twice. So you're like, well, we have 4 people. Everyone can be twice. That's 8 out of 9. Well, on the final round, no one goes to camp. So everyone has to at least go to camp twice. So if you go to camp, you're going to take this marker here. For the first time, it'll go on the 1. The second time, it'll go on the 2, and you'll know that you can't go you can't go to the campfire anymore. So typically what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the dice rolls. Now, this actually ended up everyone having some pretty decent dice rolls on there. So that's pretty good. We're going to go ahead also here and pick who we want to have go down to camp here. Some of the things we might look at is to see if anyone has identical numbers. Everyone has some pretty darn good numbers on here. 2 of these players, though, have identical 6s, which might be helpful. We're not too far into the game, but it might be nice to do that. Or we might look at who has the lowest. So in this time, I think we're gonna send the ranger to camp. So we'll put the little camp marker on the ranger. We're going to go ahead and place out the monsters for the round here. And the way that's going to work here is we have 5 here for the monster. That's the number on the upper right hand. All right, so now we're going to have the ranger go to town. So the ranger's going to town. These are the dice that they have. They will take their turn, and then everyone else is going to go. So there's a couple different things you can do in the game. You can chop firewood. Doesn't matter what number you put on here. It could be 2, could be 6, could be 5. Doesn't really matter. You'll raise the campfire level by 2, no matter what die you put on here. The other thing you can do is you can scout. So if you scout here and you want to do it more than once, the next number has to be higher. So I could do 2 and 5 if I wanted to. Now how scout works is you can do up to 3 placements on there. You can draw a lot and look at the top 2 cards of the creature deck. That's before these get to be created in a line that you have to fight. And for each card, return it to either the top or the bottom of the creature deck. So if I did that, I could look at the top 2 cards here, and I can say, oh, we're going to be fighting the Fell Beast and the Wyvern. And we know what these abilities are going to do now. The first position, draw a creature card and place it in front of the Fell Beast. Once per watch phase. Well, we can keep this one second. This one will be on top. In first position, we're going to lose 3 campfire stuff, or 3 campfire levels on here. I don't necessarily love that idea of losing 2. The way this is going to work is I can see the first monster. If it's a 1, I can see the second monster. If it's 2, you'll see in a second. And if we're all the way up at this 12 here, I can see the third monster. These aren't great, but it could be worse. You know what? What the heck? It's beginning of the game. We'll throw these to the bottom. All right. So they're at the bottom. We're not going to lose campfire. We're not going to have any of that happen. I did a scouting action. I could have chopped wood if I wanted with any dice. The other thing we can do is we can check the map. So if we check the map, the die has to be a 4+. So I could put this 5 here if I wanted to. And the way check the map works is draw the top card of the map and the top card of the unused location deck. So I could pick up this one here and see this is going to be this, or it could be this. And I can see which one of the 2 I want. Now I like the dark wood actually. It's significantly better than this one. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the dark wood. We'll put that one. And then this card will go on the bottom of the location deck. This is a horrible card, so that's good. So that's going to be check the map. The next thing you can do is if you have a 6, which I do, you can heal. So if someone over here had one of their cards flipped over to the exhausted side, you can flip it back and now they're ready to go again for that ability. The other thing you can do is you can do equip. So if I do equip here, I can swap one ability card currently on your adventure board with another unused ability card. So I'm the ranger and I'm seeing in here maybe I would want slumber or elf sense instead of what I have over here. And I can swap that with that ability. Now if the ability that I'm swapping with is exhausted, the ability that I swap must also be exhausted, so that's something to keep in mind, but that's going to be equip. Now there's one last thing you can do in town here, or at the camp, I'm sorry, is you can do the runes action here. And the runes actions, the way they're going to work is you have to have pair. So I'd have to have like 2 6s, but I could have up to 3 6s to be able to go there. So however many I put there, so let's say I had 2 5s. So if I had 2 5s here, I could have gone to town here, or gone to the runes here, and I could seal, vanquish, or bolster. Now I'll be able to do 2 of those. If I have a third one there, I'll be able to do all 3. So the first thing I can do is seal. I can remove one unhallowed card from the graveyard and place it on the bottom of the unhallowed deck. So unhalloweds are going to come out when summons occur, and when that happens, if this deck ever runs out, it gets reshuffled, and those can come out and attack me later on. So I have this discard deck as we go through, and I may want to remove that out, and that would be very good to remove from the game. That's going to be seal. Vanquish, remove the top card from the horde from the game. That's going to be also really good. Now this is going to be the horde here, so this is going to be where if we can't defeat monsters in a round, they're going to go, and then we're going to have to face all those at the end of the game, which can be really, really bad. So we want to try to manage that. So vanquish is really good. Bolster is the final thing we can do. So all adventurers on watch may choose to reroll any number of their dice. So that's really cool. All right, so that's it. So now there's a big difference. I'm at camp. Everyone else is on watch, so they're getting ready to fight. So the ranger went to camp, and now these guys here are ready to fight. Now we're going to have to start the watch phase. So in the watch phase, what we're going to do is prepare the creature line and reveal cards based on the campfire level. So we're going to know that we're going to need to bring out 5 creatures, because that's going to be the level on here. This ability doesn't really do anything, which is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and bring out 5. So this should be a relatively easy round. Technically bring them in order, but whatever. And we're going to look at our campfire level, and we're going to see where we're at. We're over on the 7 here, so we're going to be able to reveal 2 monsters. So we'll reveal the first 2 monsters. Now in this game, the way it works is melee attacks can always attack the first one, and range attack can attack the first or second one. Now when you flip these over, you're going to resolve their abilities. So I should have flipped this one over first and then that one. So this one has a reveal ability, and this one is to draw a creature card and add it into the horde. So we're going to go ahead and draw a creature card and put it into the horde, which is over here. Again, that's going to be the deck that we're going to have to face at the end of the game. Now this one also has a first position thing. Search the graveyard for 1 summon card and shuffle it into the creature deck. Well, you know, we don't need to do that because we have no graveyard yet, so that's great. And we're going to look at a couple different things. If this creature makes it through, this is going to be the damage it's going to do at the end of the round. But this is how much health it has. So it has 6 health, and this creature has 5 health. Now we have all these different warriors out there, and they can all do different things. So we can use these simply here. I could place a 6 to destroy this one. So the wizard could go and do it. Now there's no real order in this. And this would go over to the graveyard, and then we flip another one over. And we have this shade. Now this shade here has an ongoing ability here. The shade says shade's base health is set to 16 minus the campfire level. So this one here is going to be pretty darn high. So we have 16 minus 7 there. So that's going to be a 9. So we're going to have 9 health on this monster here. And we'll mark it like that. So we have 5 health bear, and we have a 9 health shade. Now, we can also use abilities. So there's abilities here. You can put a die on them. You can use any die that you have available on them to show that you use that. The ranger can't use theirs because they're in the camp, so that's a bad example. So let's go ahead and use like Chaos Blast. Choose 2 adjacent revealed creatures in the line, defeat them, and then add a new creature to the end of the line. So we could use Chaos Blast and just kill these guys, but we have some really good rolls here, so I don't think that's a really good idea. We could use Curse, choose a creature that already has been directly attacked, and that creature is now defeated. So let's say we want to do that for some reason. So let's say we're going to use this character's, what's our lowest die here? 4. So we're going to put this 4 on here, and I want to use this ability. So if I want to use this ability, I would place the die on top of it, and this creature would now be defeated. Now, the other thing I can do is, instead of placing a die on here, I could exhaust it to use its ability. I can also, if I use this once, so we say we move this over here, flip this new one over, in this first position, this one's going to cause -1 to the fire. So this one's a 9. So this would be a really bad idea. So let's say we use the 6 here. I could use this ability again and flip this over, and I would then be damaged there. So we don't want to actually do that. Instead, we actually sort of want to kill this guy, and we can notice from this card here that this character is a ranged, because you see the arrow here, and you can see this one's a melee one. So I can kill this one with the 6 here, so that one's gone. I didn't want to lose any firewood off the first round. And then we have this new zombie coming in, has an ongoing ability. Zombie horde health is increased by the creature base health on top of the graveyard. So this one has a 5. Oh my. So this one's going to be increased by 5 here. So we may just, maybe we do use that ability. So we can, we have tons of damage though. So this guy's a melee attacker. We need to attack that guy first. We have so much damage right now. We're good. We're going to go ahead and kill this guy with this one. So those dice are used. And this guy comes up. And now that guy was killed, it's still 5. We can use multiple dice here just to finish this guy off, and nothing is left, and the round can end without any bad things happening. Now let's say we weren't able to kill all the monsters out here. Say that these were to the left here. These ones will actually do damage, and the damage amounts right here. So this is going to do 2 damage. So let's say they did that, and we didn't take care of them, and they didn't go to the top of the graveyard there. Well, we would have to collectively pick 2 abilities to flip to the exhausted side. But that didn't happen. Also, they would go into this horde here because we didn't defeat them. So they would now be in there for us to have to defeat at the end of the game. All right. And that's what you're going to do for gameplay in there. We're going to just keep rinsing and repeating until we get to the 9th location there, and then we're going to do the final battle. Now, a couple notes for this. So as we go through and flip, so everyone would get their dice back. We'd start the new round. We flip this new thing over. We would do the effect if it has one immediately, or when in this case each forest creature in the line gains +1 health. We'll do that as those forest creatures get revealed here. So if you look at these, you can see these are fire demons. You can see there's a dragon. So all these ones, here's a forest creature. So all these have different types here. And some of them have pretty nasty abilities that occur when they get flipped. But one thing that's going to happen that hasn't happened yet is if we flip one of these summon cards. So if we flip one of these summon cards, what's going to happen is it's going to be replaced by an unhallowed, and this will go into the graveyard. Now, this unhallowed card here would have its ability trigger in the line there, and if it had one, and this would go into the graveyard when it's defeated, so or into the horde here for the final battle, which is even worse. So these guys can come out throughout the game and cause all different havoc, and it's incredibly important when you do these rune actions that you can sometimes get rid of these guys, because you're not going to want them to cycle into the deck there and have to face them again. And you also have those summons that keep popping back up. So that's one thing. The other thing is too, whenever you're swapping locations, you can never swap the final 9th location. And when the final 9th location flips over, you will not have a camp. All 4 adventurers will be on watch, and you will do the fight. You will take this and you'll place out 9 monsters, which is a lot, and any monsters from the horde over here will go on the end. You'll have to try to defeat all those. If you're able to defeat all that, and you have at least one hero that doesn't have all their things exhausted, you will win the game. At any point, if all the heroes have their abilities all exhausted, you lose the game. And that's going to be how you play Set a Watch. Let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Set a Watch. All right, so that was Set a Watch. Set a Watch component quality is great. Card quality in this is amazing. I like how they use the box as the game board. Really nice, easy setup for the game. As you saw, pretty straightforward on how you set it up and you're ready to go. A lot of replayability in this game, and because you're going to have different unhollowed combinations each game. It's a very puzzly game, and you can increase the difficulty as you go. Now, this game is fine with more players. I do prefer this game actually as solo, and I'm not a solo player. I really enjoy playing this game and trying to puzzle through how to go through each location. Now, with multiplayer, I think this is also fine. So this game, if you're looking for a multiplayer cooperative game, this is a really good game for that. Doesn't take a long period of time, but has a very satisfying sort of puzzle element to the game on how to best approach each of these locations. There's enough ability variability in each of the characters that there will be very little to no quarterbacking in the game, so no one's really going to be controlling another player necessarily, because they'll all have their own unique abilities in it, so they can all employ them the way that they feel best. Determining who goes to the campfire is a big part of this game here, and I really like that you could only go there twice. So a lot of times you're going to base it on rolls, but sometimes you're just going to base it on abilities that are currently active for the players, and you're going to really want those ones to be sort of whacking and hacking at those monsters. And for those abilities that do really well for what's coming up, when do you actually send them to the campfire and bring the other player up? That's going to be a unique decision in the game. Do you do it when you have a relatively calm location and you're like, well, you could go heal here and we'll take care of this? All really cool. And if you have a player that doesn't have optimal abilities, you can go to camp and you can switch some of those out and make your character a tank for the next battle in there. A lot of really meaningful decisions, a lot of really cool decisions in this game. Really great cooperative game. And if you're looking for a solo game, really great solo game. So that's my thoughts on Set a Watch. Thank you for watching.